One of the things I love about the new classroom is our NotePod. It is such a valuable upgrade that we've gotten. So I just want to go over a few things on how you can use the NotePod effectively. The first thing we'll go over are just general truths about any of the NotePods. So let's go ahead and go over these. First of all, you want your NotePod to be clear and consistent because your students are able to copy and paste this, and so you don't want to lose them in your NotePod. You want them to have that tool and be able to understand that tool. So you'll want to make sure that they can understand the difference between what has been said incorrectly and then the corrections that you've made. It should always contain material useful for the class, but also afterwards so they can study and use this language in the future. And of course, you want to make sure that it doesn't contain any mistakes. And if you look in my NotePod, I made a mistake. And one of the other things I love about this NotePod is that we are able to correct these mistakes. So first of all, you can identify errors by the little red underline mark, and then you can go ahead and correct those so that the students don't see any spelling errors when they go ahead and review the NotePod. So let's just go over some of the tools that we have in the classroom. First of all, of course, we can make we can change our fonts. We can make it larger or smaller, make it bolder, italicized, and of course, change the color. And we do this to highlight information. So whatever your system is, if you want to highlight errors, maybe making them in red, that's great. But it just helps you highlight and keep things organized. And then, of course, we can avoid distractions. So we have this lovely eye feature at the bottom. That means our students can see our NotePod, but perhaps we're in the middle of a role play and we want to type, but we don't want our students to be distracted. So we can go ahead and click on that eye so that it would hide the NotePod from the students, but we are also able to see our NotePod, and that is fantastic. I've really gotten some use out of that. Recently, we can also do even more with our NotePod. So you'll notice up at the top here it says default view. That's what we are on now. This is what you'll see normally in class. But we have a couple of features that we want to make note of. And that is if we click hide material. Now our NotePod is front row center. It is what's getting our students' attention. They don't need to focus on the material anymore. I think this is probably most beneficial for our beginner students because we just don't need to explain, please look in the NotePod. We can just literally take them there. So it really helps us with distractions. But then it also, we have the ability to hide class notes. So this is a little different than the closed eye feature because now I can no longer see the notes and I can go ahead and click this to bring it back if I'd like. I think what I just want to end with here is you really want to think of your NotePod as your personalized gift to your students. So it's something that you can go ahead and give each student. It's personal, and it's your little gift that you're sending them. So I think you will enjoy these new features, and I hope you do. Thanks for watching.